Welcome back. This is the final stage. We are about to turn a simple spreadsheet into a 2026 financial command center. By the end of this video, you will have a fully automated annual dashboard that tracks every dollar, visualizes trends, and answers the big question: where did my money go? If you haven't built the monthly tracker yet, check the links in the description. Let's dive in. We start with our January template. First, let's automate the title. Hard-coding dates is a bad habit. Instead, I'm using the upper and text functions wrapped around a date formula. Why? Because now this header is dynamic. It reads the sheet name and updates itself. I'm locking in 2026 summary as text. Now the cleanup. We need a blank slate for the new year. I am carefully selecting the data ranges. Notice I am not deleting the rows. I am only clearing the contents. This preserves our drop-down chips and conditional formatting. We want the logic to stay, but the old numbers to go. With the data gone, we have our master template. Step 1. Rename this tab to Jan. The shortness of the name matters. It keeps our formulas clean later. Now we scale. I right-click and select Duplicate. I rename the new tab to Feb. Watch the header. I simply change the month index in the formula from 1 to 2, and it updates instantly. This little trick saves you from retyping titles 12 times. It ensures every single month looks identical, which is crucial for a professional look. I'm repeating this process for the entire calendar: March, April, May. It might seem repetitive, but consistency is the secret to a stable spreadsheet. By cloning the tabs, we guarantee that cell B5 in January is exactly the same as cell B5 in November. This structure allows us to use 3D formulas later. And finally, we create December. Duplicate, rename to Dec, change the formula index to 12. Now we have a complete ecosystem, 12 connected sheets ready to receive data. Let's build the master hub. I'm creating a new tab called Annual. To start, I'm defining the visual rhythm. I'm selecting the working area and applying alternating colors. I'm choosing our signature forest green palette. This isn't just for beauty. Alternating rows guide the eye across wide datasets, reducing reading errors. Now let's talk about user interface. Standard spreadsheets look cramped. I'm selecting the entire sheet and switching the font to Lexand. It's much more readable than Arial. Here is a pro tip: spacing. I'm setting the header row height to 42 pixels to give it weight. For the data rows, I'm expanding them to 30 pixels. This white space makes your data feel accessible, not overwhelming. We need a title that stands out. I'm merging the top row cells. For the background, I'm using our deepest green. For the text, 2026 Annual Financial Overview, I'm using a very light mint shade. This high contrast draws attention immediately. Center it, make it large. This is the first thing you see when you open the file. I'm pasting our standard categories: housing, food, Amazon, Starbucks. I'm adjusting the column widths manually. You want them wide enough to read the data, but tight enough to fit everything on one screen. We don't want to scroll horizontally if we don't have to. Now let's build the y-axis. In the first column, I'm typing out the months, January through December. Below that, we need two special rows: year total for the summary and trend for our visualization. I'm making this entire column bold and dark green. Think of this as your navigation sidebar. It anchors the rest of the grid. Now the most complex part of the video: linking the sheets. I could click on every tab manually, but that's slow. Instead, I'm using a formula. I'm combining XLOOKUP with indirect. The indirect function allows us to use the month names in column A as dynamic references to the tabs. It literally tells Google Sheets, look for a tab named Jan and get the data. This is advanced logic that turns text into a link. I press Enter, and it works. Now the magic of a well-structured table. I can drag this single formula all the way to December, and then across to all categories. In seconds, we have pulled thousands of data points into one clean view. Look at that, perfectly populated. We need to know the bottom line. In the year total row, I'm entering a simple sum function to add up the columns. This tells us exactly how much we spent on housing, food, and transport for the entire year. Simple math, powerful insight. Numbers are good, but patterns are better. We are going to add sparklines, mini charts that live inside a cell. First, I need room. I'm increasing the trend row height to 80 pixels. Now I'm pasting my sparkline formula. I'm using the column chart type because for monthly data, bars are easier to read than lines. I'm also setting the color to our brand green. I drag the formula across. The charts appear, but they look a bit thin. To fix this, I'm selecting all the category columns and increasing their width to 120 pixels. See the difference? Now the bars have weight. You can instantly spot which months were expensive. I'll center the trend label to keep it aligned. Now for the centerpiece design element. I want a donut chart with the grand total right in the middle. I've calculated that cell K9 is the exact geometric center of where my chart will sit. So, inside K9, I'm writing a sum function that adds up our year total row. Result, $30,060. This isn't just a number, it's a design element. I'm making it huge, size 17, bold, and centered. This number will become the heartbeat of our dashboard, updating live as you spend money throughout the year. Let's create the chart. I select the category headers, hold Control, and select the year totals. I go to Insert, Chart. Google creates a pie chart by default, but we are going to transform it. In the chart editor, I switch the type to donut chart. Now the cleanup. A professional chart should float. I go to Customize and set the chart border color to None. I'm keeping the background white for now. It makes it easier to select the colors correctly. Next, the hole. The default hole is too small. I'm increasing it to 55%. This opens up the center to make room for our big total number. Standard charts use Arial, which clashes with our design. I'm changing all chart fonts to Roboto to match our interface. I'm styling the slice labels, bold, dark green. I'm styling the legend, bold, dark green. Every detail contributes to the app-like feel. Now the colors. The default rainbow palette creates too much visual noise. I am manually assigning our forest shades. I'm simply replacing the standard Google colors with our restrained green palette. I'm using a mix of deep forest, sage, and mint tones. This keeps the design clean and professional, without the distraction of random bright colors. Now that the colors are set, I return to the chart style and finally switch the background color to None. This transparency is crucial, so it blends perfectly with our gray sheet background. Here is the trick. I am dragging the chart and placing it directly over our table. I am carefully aligning the donut hole so that it frames our total number in cell K9. This creates an optical illusion. It looks like a single, sophisticated widget, but it's actually a chart floating over a cell. I can see the number isn't perfectly centered. The chart is slightly blocking it. Instead of moving the chart, I'll modify the cell. I select column K and change the alignment from center to right. See that? It pushes the number perfectly into the open space of the ring. We are almost there. To make it pop, I'm going to View, Show, and unchecking grid lines. Suddenly, the clutter disappears. But we need some structure. I'm selecting the main data area and adding a custom border. I'm choosing a very light gray, thin line. This gives us separation without the visual noise of the default grid. One final micro adjustment to the chart position, and there it is. The 2026 Annual Dashboard. Automated, beautiful, and completely under your control. I hope this system serves you well this year. Subscribe for more Sheets logic. Done.